Imagine waking up to a sunrise that never moves, a golden orb frozen on the horizon. Noon never comes. Shadows become permanent, etched into the ground. On the other side of the world, night falls and never lifts, plunging half the planet into endless darkness. Earth has stopped spinning relative to the sun. We're tidally locked. This isn't just science fiction. Tidal locking is real. We see it with our moon, always showing us the same face. Many moons and even some exoplanets are tidally locked to their stars. It's the universe's way of finding balance, a stable, low-energy state. If it happened to Earth, the consequences would be staggering. Day and night would vanish. Instead, we'd have a world split in two, one side in perpetual daylight, the other in endless night. The rhythm of life, dawn, dusk, seasons, would be shattered. The transition would be catastrophic. Stopping Earth's spin would unleash unimaginable momentum. Oceans would surge, creating tsunamis that scour continents. The atmosphere would become a planet-wide hurricane with winds beyond anything we've ever seen. But after the chaos, a new equilibrium would emerge. The planet wouldn't be dead, just different. It would become a laboratory for extreme physics and biology. Life would have to adapt or perish. The world would be cleaved in two, a planet of fire and a planet of ice. The familiar cycle of day and night would be gone forever. Our world would be forced to find a new balance. Somewhere, somehow, life would try to hang on. The story of Earth would be rewritten in light and shadow. What is tidal locking? Think of it as a cosmic handshake, a gravitational tug-of-war between two bodies. The moon once spun faster, but Earth's gravity pulled on its tidal bulges, slowing it down until one side always faces us. This process, repeated over billions of years, locks moons and planets into stable orbits. For Earth to lock to the sun, the same principle applies, but on a much grander scale. The sun's gravity creates tiny tidal bulges on Earth, gradually slowing our rotation. Naturally, this would take billions of years. Our day only lengthens by 1.8 milliseconds per century. But imagine it happening overnight. Tidal locking is everywhere in the cosmos, moons to planets, planets to stars. It shapes the climates and possibilities of alien worlds. When we find a planet close to a red dwarf, we can bet it's tidally locked. One side scorched, the other frozen. This gravitational handshake sculpts solar systems. It's a slow, patient process, but its effects are dramatic. Understanding tidal locking helps us predict what other worlds might be like. It's a common fate, just not one we're used to. If it happened here, it would change everything. The rules of life, weather and survival would be rewritten. Our planet would become a living experiment in cosmic mechanics. The universe's strongest handshake would grip us forever, and we'd have to adapt or disappear. A tidally locked Earth becomes a world of extremes. Forget north and south, now it's dayside, nightside, and the Terminator zone. The dayside is a hellscape. The sun fixed overhead, temperatures high enough to boil water, the land scorched and barren. The night side is a frozen wasteland, colder than Antarctica, with air so frigid that CO2 could snow from the sky. Oceans freeze under miles of ice, silence and darkness reign. The Terminator zone, the narrow band of perpetual twilight, becomes the only place where life might survive. Here, the sun hovers forever on the horizon, creating a ribbon of endless dawn or dusk. The temperature difference between sides drives violent weather and shapes the planet's new climate. Life would cling to this thin, habitable edge caught between fire and ice. The world is split and survival depends on finding balance in the twilight. The sky on a tidally locked Earth would be unrecognizable. On the day side, the sun never moves. The sky could turn yellow or brown from relentless sunlight, and stars would vanish in the glare. On the night side, the stars would blaze with unprecedented clarity. The Milky Way would be a glowing river and distant galaxies visible to the naked eye. The moon's rhythm would change, visible only when its orbit brings it into sunlight. In the Terminator zone, the sun would be forever at the horizon, painting the sky in endless reds and purples. One side glows with the light of the day side, the other fades into the star-studded dark. It's a world of eternal magic hour, a photographer's dream, but a survivor's challenge. The sky would be a constant reminder of the razor's edge between life and oblivion. The familiar cycles of day and night would be gone. The world's beauty would be haunting, and its dangers ever present. Every glance upward would remind us we live on the edge. The sky would tell the story of a planet divided, and life would cling to the twilight, always aware of what lies beyond. Oceans would become a global conveyor belt. On the day side, Water evaporates under the relentless sun, rising as vapor. Winds drive this moisture toward the night side, where it condenses and falls as endless rain or snow. The night side becomes a land of glaciers, piling up ice over millennia. Over time, water could be trapped as ice, leaving the dayside parched. If oceans are deep enough, some water might flow back beneath the ice, keeping the cycle alive. The Terminator Zone would be battered by storms, where hot and cold air collide, creating violent, perpetual weather. Life here would depend on the constant rain, the only source of liquid water. The planet's new water cycle would be wild, unpredictable, and essential for survival. Life would face its greatest test. On the day side, only the hardiest microbes might survive, hiding underground or in rocks. Plants would struggle, maybe evolving thick dark leaves or growing sideways, always reaching for the fixed sun. In the Terminator Zone, plants would adapt to constant low light and fierce winds, growing low and strong. Animals would follow, burrowing for shelter or grazing on the strange sideways flora. With no day-night cycle, life's rhythms would change, sleep, mating and hunting set by weather, not time. The oceans of the Twilight Zone would teem with life protected from extremes. Coral reefs and kelp forests might thrive in the dim, steady light. In the deep night side, life could cluster around hydrothermal vents, independent of the sun. Biodiversity would shrink, but life would persist, adapted, resilient, and strange. The edge of habitability would become a crucible for evolution. Survival would mean constant adaptation. Life would find a way, even if it meant growing sideways. Humanity would be forced to abandon most of the planet. Billions would migrate to the narrow Twilight Zone, a thin ring of life around the globe. Nations would dissolve, survival would trump borders, cities would be built low, dome-shaped or underground to withstand relentless winds. Solar panels would line the dawn side, wind turbines the dusk, energy from sun and storm. Food would come from massive indoor farms, shielded from the chaos outside. Our connection to the land would change, fields replaced by high-tech greenhouses. Life would be a constant struggle against the elements. Society would be reshaped by necessity. Cooperation, innovation, and resilience would be key. The world would shrink to a narrow band, civilization clinging to the edge. The old world would be lost, but a new one would rise in the twilight. Humanity would adapt, or fade into the darkness. Our future would depend on how well we could live on the edge. Life without day or night would reshape our minds and culture. Time would lose its meaning, clocks would rule our lives. Society might operate in shifts, never truly sleeping. Art and myth would center on the eternal sunset, the legends of a moving sun and the dangers beyond the twilight. Survival would demand cooperation, individualism giving way to community. Scientists and engineers would be heroes, designing windproof cities and running hydroponic farms. Exploration would be perilous. Missions into the day side or night side like journeys to alien worlds. Despite hardship, stability could emerge. Constant energy, controlled food, and a new sense of purpose. The stars would inspire us, and the dream of reaching other worlds might become our greatest hope. In the twilight, humanity would find a new way to thrive. A tidally locked Earth is more than a thought experiment. It's a lesson in cosmic fragility. Our daily spin gives us life's rhythm, climate, and hope. Losing it would mean losing a part of what makes Earth home. The Twilight Zone becomes a metaphor for resilience, life clinging to the edge, adapting to the harshest realities. Our survival would depend on ingenuity and cooperation, not strength. Imagining this world deepens our appreciation for the gentle cycles we enjoy. We live on a Goldilocks planet, not just the right distance from the sun, but with the right spin. Next time you see a sunrise, remember, you're witnessing a cosmic miracle. Our spinning world shields us from extremes and gives us the chance to thrive. Keep looking up and cherish the world we have.